5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Grounded episode 27. Today is June 7th, 2022. I don't need this anymore. And we're here to talk about a few things. I want to talk about the Cybertruck for a second because, it's awesome and there's new pictures and stuff. But mostly the thing I want to do with this, let me fix my seat here. Let me know about my volume and everything. The thing I mostly want to do with this chat here, and sorry, my setup's been changing, so it'll be a little wobbly on the video, is talk about full self-driving beta, especially for the new people, because I'm getting, and I'm not going to be looking at you, so I hope that's not weird. I've been getting a ton of messages of people who are like, oh, I was just added to beta, and it's like, I have all these questions, like, is there something wrong with my car? It's not doing what yours does, or it tried to veer, and people are getting freaked out. And you cannot, I got the Giga Texas shirt on. You cannot, my videos, I show everything, and I talk a lot for the purpose of trying to put, wrong mic? What? No, right here. For the purpose of trying to, I talk a lot to convey the feeling of, might be high. Okay. Sorry. Adjust audio. Okay. How's that? See, I have full self-driving beta. I think it's trying to kill me. So I talk a lot to try to convey the feelings I'm getting, the braking, the acceleration, all these things, because the video can't get that across to you. It really can't. And so, we're going to talk about it tonight because I'm getting a ton of, questions about this. Anyway, so here we go. First, you know what? I'm going to skip Cybertruck for now. Maybe we'll talk about it later. And for podcast people, this one will be good because I'm more of giving like a seminar here, and I will try to answer some questions, of course, as well. But okay, first of all, I want to show you a couple clips. I want to show you some old full self-driving beta clips, because there's a reason. Beta used to be, why can't I do this? Beta used to be way worse than it was. Now, that doesn't mean beta is perfectly safe now. It doesn't mean it's done. It doesn't mean it's not gonna screw up and, veer off to the side or do these crazy things you're not expecting. But they do happen a lot less frequently, way less frequently than they used to. And the things that beta messes up now are much more predictable, in that once you personally have been using your car on beta for, a few weeks or maybe a month or something, you'll have a much better sense, just like normal autopilot, of the places where beta is going to start to have a problem, and you're going to be ready to take over in that scenario and stuff. Whereas old beta, it would do those things too, but the mistakes it would make and stuff were like random. I mean, I can't even describe how random they were, because, you would think, oh, it's always going to mess this up, but then sometimes it would do it right. And you're like, oh, that's cool. And then things that it would always do right, you would, it would screw up, and you're like, okay, what the heck? So, beta is a lot more predictable than it used to be. It still can do things that you wouldn't expect. And I think one thing that a lot of people don't do, they get excited, they download beta, they get it on their car, and then they don't read the description. and Tesla says it can do the wrong thing at the worst time. And that's totally true. It can do the wrong thing at the worst time. And so if your hands are on the wheel, even if you're not 100% paying attention, because nobody's always 100% paying attention, but if you're paying attention, hands are on the wheel, the car can't do anything you don't let it. So let me get these. I wanted to start the stream. I guess I should have got this ready before before I started the stream, because now I don't know how to add these stupid things. Show live stream. Why would I want Samsung Magician? Let's do display capture. Let's see. Put it above webcam. Okay, that'll work. We'll do display capture for a second here. And yeah, so let me mute this. So here, okay, the first clip here I'm going to show you. This is oh, what the heck? There you go. This is beta. This is my first beta drive ever. So if you've been with the channel for a few years, you've seen this one. I'm not showing it. I mean, I have no like hidden clips that you haven't seen. These are things that if you've been watching the channel, you've seen these. But this is my first beta drive ever. And no, don't show me, show this. Okay. And this was a really bad one. So I literally just turned beta on. Let me reverse it just a little bit so you can see. So I take this right turn manually because I was trying to go through this three-way stop, which if you've been watching my videos, you've seen this three-way stop a million times. So right here, I turn beta on. Again, this is, beta 2 or something, we're on 10. And yeah, beta used to have really ugly graphics. So I turn beta on now, and you can see if you look at the map, you can see my mouse, that's nice. If you look at the map here, you can see the route is still going this way, but I'm driving this way. And beta used to have for a long time a big problem with these route changes. So now I've turned on full self-driving. The second I turn it on, you can see that beta is planning to go to the left. And I don't notice this because when you're driving, you're not looking at the screen. Yes, this stream will be viewable later. It'll be live. And or it'll be recorded. And so you can see beta's going to turn left. I don't see that when I'm looking, and that's because it still thinks it wants to go to the left. Whatever, it doesn't matter why, but you can see the planner going back and forth here. And we're driving, everything looks good, and then look at this left turn out of nowhere. Bam! The car cranks the wheel to the left, and it might not look that dramatic, but you gotta, you're sitting at home watching a recording that's almost 2 years old at this point. So let's watch it. Let me back it up, and you can watch this. I won't pause it this time. So we're going, I turn on beta, and there's a car coming and everything, and my car is like, oh, I want to turn into that, driveway, and bam, and it's gonna, maybe it would have stopped. Who knows? I'm not saying it would have crashed or something, but it turned directly towards that car. And, I'm like, oh, okay, well, that was scary. Like, I don't expect my car, hold on, sorry. I don't expect my car to be, jerking the wheel over to the left and then towards a car. So those kind of things are scary. And to be honest, like you technically still expect beta to do those, but not as often, not nearly as often. So these things are still normal for beta, and it's why you always have your hands on the wheel. I know people get sometimes a little confident with autopilot, especially on the highway. It is so good, and despite that, it still makes mistakes. Whatever. But people will look at their phones, they'll look out the window, not pay attention. I mean, 90% of people around me, no matter what car they're in, are looking at their phone. And autopilot for the most part is so good. It's like, you can't blame people, and accidents can happen and do happen. But, with beta, it's not like that. It's not where you're just going to be chilling and you're like, la, la, la. And then, it's just driving you along. It can do these things, kind of suddenly. So there's nothing wrong with your car. You're not doing anything wrong. Beta just does that. And you got to keep in mind, if you haven't had testers in your area, maybe you're one of the first testers in your area, then beta Tesla hasn't had a lot of data from your area, and your area will be worse. That's just the way it is. Whereas, people who have the same areas going, thank you so much, Matt. He said, full self-driving beta is such a cool thing to be following. We all appreciate your channel during the exciting evolution. You are super appreciated. Thank you, Matt. I really appreciate that. You guys are all appreciated as well, because I wouldn't be here without you. So your area may not have much data. And so you can see, like, when you watch Holmar's blog, if you watch his videos, his car does way better than mine. I watch his videos and I go, what the heck? I wish my car would do that. And then people watch my videos thinking the same thing. So let's watch. I have 2 more clips here. Let's watch these, and then I'll keep seminaring to you, because I do have some good points here. So let me find the next one. So we'll get rid of that. 11928. So these are really old. So, excuse me, this one, if you've seen where I took the car out, there's an underground parking garage. This is from that one. So this is at the 4-minute mark. I'm just getting these queued up. Oops. So, okay, we'll pause that. Let me put this back up here for you. Display capture. Whoops. And we're going here. Okay. And it'll switch in a second. There you go. So this one is another example of kind of the same thing that we just saw, where the car kind of suddenly moves over to the left. So you can see, and I don't even remember what the display does in this one, but you can see that my car's just driving along, and then for whatever reason, I don't even think it had a turn signal, decided to go into that left turn lane. And again, when you're watching these on video, they're not all that super dramatic, but you got to keep in mind, like, when you're newer to this, that's really scary. When you don't know what's going to happen, it's a little scary, and it can catch you off guard, again, if you're not paying attention. Now, if your hands are on the wheel, it's you just hold the wheel and it can't move. But yeah, so I want to look at that one more time, just because I kind of want to look at the display and see what it was doing here. So this should switch for you in a second. Hopefully it doesn't switch back. Wow, Andrew Cochran, thank you so much. Ditto, Matt's kudos. Chris basically taught this old guy how to drive a Tesla. Awesome, Andrew. I'm glad to hear it. That's so cool. Thank you, guys. So again, let's look. The car is going to move to the left. It decides to, yeah, so it has its left turn signal on right now for whatever reason. Hello, Taha Alam. Very nice to meet you, or have you in the stream anyway. It has its left turn signal on, and it decides it's going to like change lanes into there. So again, I don't know if I was looking at the display at this time. Probably not. I don't tend to look at the display all that much while I'm driving because I'm driving the car. But it catches you off guard. You're like, wow, this thing, just as we passed a car too, you know, this thing is again kind of moving over towards this vehicle. Like, bam, that lane change starts right as they're next to us. And then so I take over. It's nothing too dramatic. I'm not, you know, screaming and like, oh, I almost died. What's happening? It's just like, oh, don't do that. But these things are, you know, beta does it. It's you're not doing anything wrong. So I got one more clip for you, 21928. This one's pretty funny because this is at the underground. This is the same video actually from long time ago. 450. Okay, so we'll just let this one play for a minute. And this is where I wanted to test beta. You can see it's already failing just in the parking lot here. I wanted to test beta in this underground parking lot because I don't think GPS works in there. It's a really small area, but it's not mapped. You can't put any routes because it doesn't know how to get out of here. So I was like, oh, let's see, what's it going to do? And I put it on. I tried to make it go really slow so it had time to kind of figure it out. And several times, and for months, by the way, this is the first time I tried it, but several times and for months of me doing this and reporting it, the car would just look at that route. Look at the route. It sees. So the red on the screen is the same as what we see today. That's the driving boundaries. So anything inside the red is drivable space. Outside of the red is not drivable space. Thank you, Tortellini. I appreciate it. That's very nice. Anything outside of the red is not drivable space. But the car, even though the definition of outside of the red is not drivable space, the car is trying to drive through the whoa. What did I do? I'm sorry. The car is trying to drive through the wall into that not drivable space there. This might be a little better if you can see the video and me. So yeah, let's continue watching. So I'll put this up. And so I had to stop the car. Let me rewind it. Sorry, it's when I switch between these things, it messes up. So I have to stop the car because it's going to drive right into the wall. Like, what the heck? You're talking about like beta screwing up. Beta is, oh my gosh, hold on. I'm sorry. Let me fix all this stuff I messed up here for you. Move it all around. Okay, I just want to make this full screen again. You don't need to see me while the video's playing. Okay, so I'm going to back it up one more time. We'll just watch it. I'll stop interrupting. So it'll switch back here. And then we'll hit play. Sorry, I want to go back a little bit farther so you can really see it. So autopilot's on, and if I don't hit the brake here, the car wants to drive straight into the wall. Boom. Like, see, the car's trying to drive. I had hit the brake there. If I did not hit the brake, my car would have driven straight into that wall. Now, these days, the car, I actually tested this today because I was thinking about this for the stream. The car either stops or it makes the, I'll just switch back to the cam in a minute. It's not a big deal. It either stops at the wall or it makes the turn. And so it's really tight. It's really hard to make that turn even kind of as a human. But yeah, so beta has gotten a lot better in these regards. But you have to, you know, like this car is driving itself and it's a robot and it's not perfect. And again, in my opinion, I don't think it will ever be perfect. But this is something, you know, to keep in mind that these things can happen. And that's why it's a closed access program where you kind of worked hard to, so this is me trying to put a destination in, thinking maybe the giving it a route will help it out, but then it doesn't know how to route out of the parking lot. So yeah, it thinks it's on the street. So anyway, yeah, these kind of things can happen. It's not your fault. Nothing bad is happening. And this is why we just always got to pay attention. So again, it's going to try to make the turn, but too close. I have to stop it again on this one. Hey, Brian, how's it going? Do you buy FSD or no? I bought FSD for my Model Y. I cannot wholeheartedly recommend buying FSD. I think it's too expensive. I love beta. And if you really are into the tech and, you know, some people, $12,000, did I say 10? $12,000 isn't a lot of money for them. then, go for it. But yeah, so that's the point. Oops. That's kind of the point of me showing those clips is Beta used to do these crazy things. Man, I wish I could I have another one where it makes a left turn it's one of my first, again, I think it's like my third, I might be able to find it really quick. I think it's like my third Beta video. And it takes a left turn at a light and then just like out of nowhere, really hard turns to the left, like gonna go into the curb. That was one of the scariest ones probably because let's see, full self-driving Beta, FSD Beta, Drive 3. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one. Let me look here really quick and find this clip for you because I know where it is. I know where it happens. And yeah, this one's crazy. This one's really crazy. And I've been back to this spot this is in downtown Ann Arbor. I've been back to this spot tons of times and it's never happened again. But it was a really scary one. So here, I'll just share the screen with you. You can see me going through this clip here. Thank you. I think someone just subscribed. I appreciate that. Yeah, so this is it right here. So Beta's on. It's in the left turn lane, kind of strangely. And let's see if I can skip ahead here. Yep, so here we go. So I had to stop it. I had to disengage. It was going to turn. It seemed it was going to turn in front of that minivan. I turned it back on. It makes a nice left turn. I remember going, oh, this is nice. And then wham, it's like, whoa, it's going to, go right into that curb. So this was definitely, we'll watch again, one of the most kind of dramatic, scary ones I've had where it just like continues to turn left. And actually I had a good, somebody commented and had a good theory. So this is really strange. If you look right here at the path actually looks correct. The car planner is, the indication of where it's going to go is perfectly correct. But then the car that you can see by the visual and obviously just looking out the windshield, it's turned way too far left. Like, what is it doing? Now, I had somebody suggest, if you look at the road here, you can see the shadows. This is insane, but you can see the shadows from the power lines actually kind of could maybe be mistaken for some type of line, especially this really early Beta. Again, this was had to be probably November, I would guess. It's probably in November of 2020 is when this was recorded. So yeah, maybe the wrong position for the steering wheel. Who knows? I mean, there's really any reason it could make this mistake, but things like this, I'm not going to say they're impossible to happen, but they just don't really happen anymore like they used to. So yeah, this is crazy watching this kind of play by play. Let's watch it without pausing one more time. And like, look, I had to, this is, one of the ones where I really had to yank the steering wheel back because I was thinking it was doing such a good job, and then it really wasn't. So I had to kind of pull that back. So yeah, Beta today is way better than it was. All right, if you have questions, start putting them in the chat because I'll start getting to your questions now. I'm kind of getting to the end of my ranting. But Beta is way better than it was. I mean, we met at Cyber Rodeo. What up, Lionel? Cool. Good to see you live. It's way better. I mean, it's way better. It can still make mistakes. If you're seeing like my video and I have like a perfect drive, it's again, I don't like aim for, most of my drives are not perfect. Obviously, I think I've had like maybe 2 or 3 videos of perfect drives. The rest all have some type of mistake. It's not because I like am filtering anything. It's not because my car is better than yours. It's just sometimes I have good drives and other times I don't. And here's another point that I really wanted to make that I think is really important. Beta has a learning curve to it. So you get used to it as you use it more. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't take over often. If it's doing something wrong, I mean, don't, like you might see in my videos or other people's videos where you kind of like, oh, let's see what it does. I don't do that normally. I do it on the video because number one, I'm making a video for YouTube and people don't want to see me driving. They want to see what the car does. And if it's not, dangerous, whatever, let's check it out. The 99% of driving that I do off camera, very rarely, sometimes if it's a really interesting scenario and nobody's around, but very rarely am I like, oh, let's see what it does. I'm just like, oh, I just take over for 2 reasons. I don't want to get in anyone's way, but also it sends the data back to Tesla and makes beta better. So don't be discouraged if you're taking over often. You should take over early and take over often, constantly on beta. It can do goofy things, and you shouldn't allow it. You should press the accelerator when it's slow. You should take away steering when it's too close to something, or you think the turn is too tight or too wide or something. All of those things are fine. Yeah. And then getting used to it, it's weird to cease control of your car. I mean, you're in the driver's seat. You're not supposed to not be doing stuff. You're supposed to be doing stuff. So the first time I ever used autopilot, years before I got my Tesla, this had to be, I don't know, 2016, 2017, somewhere around there. I went to the local, they had a showroom and they did test drives, and I turned on autopilot. I'm holding the steering wheel and we're on the highway, and the guy goes, all right, just, pull the stalk towards you twice. This is the Model S. The Model 3 wasn't out yet. He pulls the stalk towards you twice and then autopilot's on. So I go, okay, holding the steering wheel. I pull the stalk twice. It goes doo-doo, doo-doo, and turns off instantly. And I look at him. I'm like, oh, what's going on? It's turning off. And he goes, I don't know. Do it again. And so I go, okay, doo-doo, doo-doo, turns on, turns off instantly. And he just goes, you have to let go of the steering wheel. I was holding on so tight that the second autopilot was turning on, I was just taking back control. Because you know how autopilot likes to center itself in the lane. So that took a learning curve for me. And I said to him, I was like, I'm going 75 miles an hour. I'm not supposed to let go of the steering wheel. It's not normal. So having your car move around and do these things is not normal. And it takes a learning curve of weeks maybe before you're really kind of getting in the groove of it. And pay attention when somebody else is driving, like you're in your friend's car or somebody's car. It's almost the same feeling sometimes where like they take a turn or they're not stopping as fast as you would. And you're like, are they going to stop? Like you don't say anything, but in your head, you're like, are they going to stop? Like what's going on? Why are we going so fast? Why did you take that turn so hard? It's just, you're not fully in control. So your body isn't kind of, preempting all the feelings and movements that are going to happen in the car. So even though beta might be doing a great job, it might not be the exact same way you do it. So you perceive it as either uncomfortable or bad or whatever, when really it was actually a fine move. So I think that's another really important point of being new to beta is it's weird. It's weird. So, all right, let me look at some of your questions here. Wow, you guys are flooding them. Okay, here we go. Questions. Oh, hold on. Where did that go? Come back here. What's your opinion? Thoughts on Tesla stock? I don't know. I'm all in GameStop right now, so Tesla, I don't know. I want to kind of focus on full self-driving for right now. Are you willing to discuss more about the V11 screenshot you saw? No, the screenshot that I saw and I ended up sharing was from this version, the new stuff. I haven't seen version 11 screenshots. If I said that, then I did see a version 11 screenshot. I totally forgot actually. It was seeing the beta on a highway pretty much. Yeah, it wasn't, I mean, it was cool because you're not used to seeing that, but there was nothing really new like in the picture. It's just that the beta was enabled on the highway. So that was very cool. What's your opinion on the onboard camera and warnings? Apparently way more aggressive today. The onboard camera and the warnings? I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you mean about, the face tracking camera. Yeah, I noticed sometimes the interior camera that tracks you and makes sure you're paying attention. There's some days where like it does not care at all what I'm doing, and then other days where it's super sensitive, and I'll just be like putting in a new route or something, and it's like yelling at me. And then other days I'll do the same thing and it won't do anything. So yeah, it seems pretty variable. I'm not sure why. Who's this? Did you watch the new Farzad full self-driving video? Total cringe. Some people really shouldn't be beta testers. I did not. There's so many beta videos now, and to be honest, I do watch some of them because I love to see beta in other areas and see what I learn from other people using it too, and see what other people are experiencing. But no, I didn't see that. And that's one of the negatives of as it goes out. So I've had this thought a lot. So I have been, if you've been watching me for a long time, I had a Tesla YouTube channel for I think like 2 years before beta came out, maybe more than that. And a lot of my videos, I mean, I did all kinds of stuff, but a lot of my videos, what I was decently well known for was autopilot videos, of course, mostly on the highway, because that's where all the lane changes and exits and exchanges were. So I've been making these types of videos for years before beta even, existed. And so when I got beta, I didn't get it in the initial rollout, but I got it very early. I already had a decent base of people that enjoyed, my videos and my style, and some people that didn't, so they didn't watch. But a decent base of people that were watching my videos. I can make a full self-driving video, get whatever many views I get. It's awesome. I'm very thankful. And again, thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out. It's so much fun and everything. But then people get beta. And I think some people think, oh, I just got to put a camera in my car and then I'll get thousands of views. This is sick. And that's just not how YouTube works. And so I've had a base to build off of, and I built and make things better. Now, when not everybody, but some people, there's going to be a small percentage of people when they get their beta or whatever, it could be any subject, and they start putting videos up and they're not seeing the views, they're going to start to get desperate. Some of them, again, a very tiny percentage of people. Some people will be like, I don't care about the views. This is fun. Some people will just stop doing it. But these people are going to be like, what do I do to get the views? Oh, bad stuff. Like if my car crashed, that would get tons of clicks, right? My car, I don't want to pick on anybody, but like negative things get a lot more clicks, but also like rare things. If beta gets to the point where like every drive I do is zero intervention, it'll still be interesting and I'll still put them up for a while and people will like them. But then the videos that are going to get a lot of clicks are the ones where it's like, oh, beta like curb rash, or beta bumped my garbage can, or beta ran into someone. And people are going to really push it to get clips that can go viral. And so that's like kind of the biggest negative of it going too wide. Some people, when I've said this kind of stuff, are like, oh, you just don't want people to get views. I don't care, dude. Everybody make videos. It's fine. I put up tutorials on how I film. If you want to do it, you can copy my exact setup, whatever. But yeah, some people are going to push it too far and it's going to be unfortunate because they're going to get desperate for the views. So that goes back to who is this asked about watching that video. Some people, yeah, are going to do bad things, unfortunately. And I hope Tesla just takes it away, because at the end of the day, the most important thing here is that people are safe with this. Matt Lemon, it's Lamon. I want to say lemon. Buy the dip. Oh, you're talking about the stock. Quick question. You're streaming over Starlink. I'm not right now. I'm on my AT&T hotspot. I just switch between them. And Starlink, it can stream for sure. But if I get like one drop, it just ruins the whole experience. And yeah, I don't know. It's been great. I mean, the speeds are still killer and everything, but streaming, I'm not sure that my setup is great for streaming. Leet Dan. Has anybody heard about Austin Model Ys being offered to reservation holders? Yeah. They just showed up for me today. What? My delivery's a couple weeks out. What? You got offered an Austin Model Y? You need to DM me on Twitter. Will Arley, what's the new Cybertruck wiper? Maybe it extends out. I don't I don't think that means anything. I don't think the new wiper thingy means anything, guys. I think it's just a picture where either it broke or they took the top part off. That's just my opinion. Would you say full self-driving is like a 16-year-old driver right now? Yeah, it's really comparable to a bad driver. Like when I was 16, I know one thing I did is I was always way too far to the right. I remember my mom would like get scared because I'd get close to the wall, on the right side. So, just doing dumb stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, there are, besides the like really stupid mistakes beta makes where it will like turn really hard right or randomly try to take a turn when it's not in the nav. Besides those kinds of things, beta is a better driver than some people. I mean, it's just a fact at this point. It's getting so good. Kushal, you have any interest in checking out the Kia EV6 Lite? I have had one for 1 month and put 3,000. Yeah, dude, I would love to check out that car. I think the EV6 is sick. I think that's one of my favorite EVs right now. Yeah, DM me on Twitter or somewhere. I would love to check it out. Thank you for the offer. That's awesome. Brandon Storkamp, I noticed FSD making a mistake one day and I correct it, and the same drive the next day it makes the correct decision. It's crazy how fast it learns. So there's been some debate that beta can change without an update, and I personally have experienced it where beta something will change without me getting an update. I don't know how true it is, but this is where you gotta, kind of keep in mind, it's a neural net. It's not like I'm not a software guy, so I don't know how to describe it that well, but you'll get different outcomes from the same event sometimes. I mean, it's normal with the way this system works. So, do it 10 times, see how many times it does it correctly. Definitely first time I tried FSD was scary. Yep. It's pretty crazy. I was like binging on the videos before I got it, the few videos that were there. And I was talking with like Vincent and, a couple other of the testers. So I was like, I was ready. I was in it and I was so used to autopilot. I jumped in pretty quick, but yeah, it can be tough. Have you seen any map data speeds change with full self-driving beta, like on unmarked roads? I haven't noticed that at all. Pratable, sorry. Vega, I drove through 2 consecutive roundabouts last night. It hauled but did it perfectly. I love it, dude. Roundabouts are fixed. They're fixed. I found one roundabout in Ann Arbor now that it still doesn't do right. It wants to stop at it. It seems like every time, and getting through it's not that good, but it's a really small one. But for the most part, oh my gosh, my roundabouts are so good. Matt Lamon, Chris, what would you say is the single biggest improvement since the early days of beta? Man, I love this question, but I don't know how to answer it because it's just such a complex thing that we're dealing with here. Like it's not it's not like a task where you can do the same thing 10 times. It's never the same. Even though I have a repeatable route, which I haven't done for a long time because one of the roads was closed. Maybe I'll try to do it again soon. Even if you have a repeatable route, it's never, ever the same. Traffic is different. Weather is different. The wind is different. Debris on the road is different. Is it raining or is it snowing? I mean, you can never replicate it. So I wish I could say, well, one of my favorite improvements is the recent one of fixing the roundabouts, but maybe that's just because it's fresh in my head. Just kind of the overall smoothness and everything, because like I showed in some of those clips earlier, beta used to just take the wheel and just crank it, like, and that was really common. If you go back and look at those old videos, like it would happen all the time where you're on a straight road for 3 miles and out of nowhere, beta's like, oh, I'm going, I'm going to crank the wheel. It would get stuck so often on turns. The creeping behavior now is beautiful for the most. Again, it's not perfect, so of course it's not perfect every time, but for the most part, the creeping behavior is just so much better in a way that I would expect from maybe not a robot, because I'm really skeptical that all this stuff's going to work, but from a person. It's what I would expect from a person, where let's say you're going to turn right, but there's a bunch of cars parked there, so you gotta move out. The car does that so good now. It's creepy. The car creeps. And then as soon as I'm like, I think it can see, then it just takes off. I mean, if there's nobody there. And if there's somebody there, it either completely stops or maybe it'll start to move a tiny bit and then stops. And so that is one of my favorite improvements is the creeping is way better than it used to be, because most of the creeps in the past were like creeping, and then it did nothing, or it would just creep all the way into the intersection. I mean, it was ridiculous. Thank you, Steve, Melissa. I really appreciate that. If I said that correctly. Scott Chur, do you think they are delaying Cybertruck intentionally so it comes out when FSD is ready? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Fudge Knuckle, the EV charging spot front and center at GM's Ren Center building from entrance downtown. Should get some Tesla selfies there next time you go downtown. Sure. Yeah, I never go downtown. I really want to take beta down there and try it, but man, 2 kids and a job, dude. How does anyone do anything with kids? I barely made it to this stream on time. That's why I put them at 9 p.m. so that the kids are sleeping and everything. It's just crazy. I really want to go back down to Detroit and drive around, or be driven around. Polar, have you ever thought Full Self-Driving Beta was on when it wasn't? Thought it was on. Yeah, there have been times where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm driving, but not like because I start going off the road or something. Usually like the biggest one is I'll be at a stoplight. And so when beta is on, obviously when the red light turns green, it just goes. When beta is off, if you have it enabled in the settings, it'll chime at you when the light turns green. So it'll chime and I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm driving. So yeah, no like emergency scenarios, but yes, that has happened. Santee, I want to ask, how is FSD with a yoke? Because I don't know how I feel about a yoke whipping around. Because during a turn, I let it slide in my hands. Yeah, so Santee, watch my yoke review with my wife, because I talk a lot about that. It's a non-issue. I mean, don't get me wrong, a wheel is better in that scenario, because exactly what you said, you can just kind of let it slip through your hands. But with the yoke, there's actually one big, huge advantage, which I love. Because of the flat bottom, I need something to represent a yoke. So say this is the bottom of the yoke right here. Because of the flat bottom, if we're making, a left turn, so the yoke is like turning like this, what I'll do is if to make sure it's not going to mess up and turn right, like let's say there's somebody kind of close over here, so it cannot move to the right at all. As it turns left, I'll just put my hand here, and that I just hold just like this. So it keeps turning left and it can do the whole turn. But if it's going to mess up and do one of those weird maneuvers like I talked about, then as it goes to turn, my hand's here and it just disengages beta instantly. So that's actually a huge advantage that the yoke has, because you can do a version of that, of course, with the wheel. But usually with the wheel, what I would do is I would just grip really tight so that, I would be moving with it. And if it tried to move the other way, then it couldn't. But the problem with that is sometimes I would disengage on accident. So especially when I'm filming a video. If I'm not filming, who cares? But if I'm filming a video, that's really annoying. I don't want to take over. So yeah, that's the thing I like. But no. Overall, a wheel is way easier to manage with the Yoke, so than a Yoke. But yeah, so I may be getting FSD, just like renting it or subscribing or whatever on the X. Now that people are getting it, I want to try. Lionel Bapt, think I'll get hardware version 4 with my Model Y being delivered in March. No. It's possible, but no, I don't know. Actually, in March? Yeah, it's possible. Probably not. I wouldn't think so. No, but maybe. Aaron Jones, we need the ability to edit maps. Yeah, I know. The maps are a big issue, but Elon said we're gonna rely way less on maps in a couple updates. A little skeptical about that, but what do I know? I'm not the expert. I didn't make my car drive, that's for sure. Santi, I can grip it if I need to, but with a Yoke, I can't. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, so I answered that. Antoine, I think is how you say that. I just got into the beta today. Congratulations to you. And haven't gotten to do a run yet. I'm scared of the 5 strikes thing. Seems super aggressive. No, Antoine, I have 0 strikes still. Hey, Kevin Smith, welcome. The new radar. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Yeah, don't be scared of the strikes. So I'll talk about that for a second. So in beta now, in the settings, there's a strike system. So like, let's say you look down at your phone. Beta is really good at knowing it's really good at knowing if you're looking at your phone. So you look at your phone, you get a beep beep, it says please pay attention to the road. You put your phone down and you look straight ahead, it goes away pretty much instantly. Sometimes, very rarely for me, but sometimes it'll do that wrong. Actually, I'm not sure if it ever does it wrong. Usually the times I do it, the times it warns me and I'm kind of like, screw you, is when I'm looking at the center screen to change, the destination or something. But if you get too many of those, you get a strike. I don't know the exact number, but like I think if you get kicked out for not looking, then you get a strike. Or if it beeps at you too many times in a single drive, you get a strike. I don't know. But after 5 strikes, you get kicked out of beta. And so far, it used to be 3, and then they got reset to 5. So far, people who have been kicked out with 5, even months ago, just don't have beta anymore. Like, beta's on their car, but they can't use it. And nobody knows how long it's going to be until there's going to be some kind of reset or refresh, or it's going to be reinstated. And so, yeah, I wouldn't be scared of those. If you, again, I have 0 of those strikes. I mean, I'm not the perfect person who's constantly like this. I mean, I have a Yoke, but constantly like this, staring straight ahead 100% of the time, and I have no strikes. I've gotten warned, a few times where it goes beep beep, pay attention. I look at the road, it goes away. If it's ever beeping and it doesn't seem like it's gonna know that I'm looking, I just tap the brake really quick or up on the stalk to turn beta off. So I've done that, but I would not be scared of those at all. You shouldn't get any. If you're driving appropriately, you shouldn't get any. Don't kill me if you're one of the people, but I really think people who have gotten 5 strikes are screwing around on their phone. That's my guess. I could be wrong. I'm not judging you, but the experience I have with the system and the way it, has beeped at me, I think they're screwing around on their phone and they don't care. That's my guess. Because if you get the strike on the highway, it counts, even though you're not technically using beta at that time. If you're looking at your phone on the highway and it goes beep beep and you don't look and it kicks you out or whatever, that's a beta strike. Or if someone else is using your car and they get strikes, you're screwed. So you got to be careful. Even if they're not using beta, they're not on your profile, still counts. Sasha Zach, can you get FSD beta with the hardware 3 stuff? If not, how do I get the new cams? If you have hardware 3, you're good. You just have to buy it, or subscribe to Full Self-Driving, go through the safety score, and yeah. Brian O'Shea, I live in a hilly rural area, and my biggest concern is that FSD beta takes some blind turns too fast, especially when going downhill. Have you seen any improvements with blind turns in this update? I don't think so. Yeah, beta's really in that regard of blind turns and like going up a hill and stuff, especially on dirt roads where there's not, you don't have to stay to the right. Beta is really like hit or miss on those. Sometimes I'll come and this is actually something I've been emailing the beta team. I don't really email them anymore because I don't know if they read it or not. I used to email them a ton, like when beta was new. That was something I talked about to them a lot, is on dirt roads, because I figured I was probably one of the only people regularly using it on dirt roads. When you're going up a hill, you can't be in the middle. Like, you can't see the other side. You don't know if somebody's coming. Like, it's impossible to know. So you can't be in the middle. You got to be off to the side. And beta just would always, it would like be on the right and then come up to a hill and be like, oh, I'm going in the middle now. It's like, what? That makes no sense. So it's better than it used to be, but it's still pretty hit or miss on those. So yeah, I wouldn't say there's probably any specific improvement to that. Yeah, that's like a higher logic that they need. Blue Sensation. I think the truck will get hardware 4 first. I agree. I think Cybertruck is probably the first vehicle with hardware 4. And hopefully would come to all the vehicles kind of around that same time. But yeah, I agree with that. So no, I don't think we're seeing hardware 4 probably till um I don't know, late 2023, mid 2023 something. Depends on, chip shortage and all this weird stuff. Aaron, question. Have you noticed that other vehicles being displayed on the screen are disappearing less than on previous? The tracking is super accurate. The only things that times it messes up a lot is like stuff farther away, which makes sense and doesn't usually matter as much. And when I say farther away, like of course things on the road matter, but more talking about like cars that are parked or maybe like you're on a side road and the highways over there, those are not nearly as consistent. But yeah, I find that beta is does a really good job of keeping everything correct in the display. The thing it still struggles with is semi trucks. It still sometimes has those, especially when you get really close to them, they're bouncing around a little bit or like turning into cars and stuff. It doesn't seem to affect the performance or matter, but the visual, yeah, definitely gets messed up. Is hardware 4 out? Nope. Neil, I do wonder if version 4 is going to be needed. Hardware 4 is going to be needed for level 5. Maybe level 4 or 5. Maybe. Steve, Melissa, thank you so much. When you get FSD beta, can safety score make you lose it if it's too low? No, once you get beta, safety score is gone. You don't have safety score anymore. Once you get beta, that's removed, so you don't have to worry about that. You can drive normally again. Yeah. Okay. I'm behind as normal. That's okay. We're having a great time. Will Arley, does beta recognize school buses and react differently than a regular bus? No, it doesn't. I haven't interacted with many school buses. I have had it months long, maybe even over a year ago now, a bus on the opposite side with a stop sign. I have had it begin to stop for that, but it seemed like it was kind of indecisive and then tried to go, so I had to stop it. But again, that was, probably a year ago now. I don't interact with school buses too much, unfortunately. I wish I could have like, I need to be like Mr. Beast and set up like he should set up like full self-driving beta crazy course and make a video about that. Sasha Zach, probably going to keep FSD beta rollout going for at least 2 more weeks, right? Or is it going to stop? I have no idea. Nobody but Tesla knows that. Ethan Tracy, you're responding to someone. Elite Dan, 5.0, 0 to 60, 269 miles of range, brand new odometer. I'm in Florida. That has to be Austin Model Y, right? Yeah, that's Austin Model Y. What the heck, dude? You need to DM me, Elite Dan. DM me right now on Twitter at Dirty Tesla. We'll talk. Ethan Tracy, gen code FPV. 2 cars on beta now with score of 99. We really need to be able to confirm lane changes. Like highway, biggest advice for new 95 score users is don't let go of the wheel. I kind of agree with confirming the lane changes, but at the same time, the point is that the car is doing everything. So Tesla doesn't want that. They want the car to do everything. So if it's a bad lane change, they want you to just not let it do it. I have a lot on my way home. I think it's trying to stay out of the left lane, but it's just not appropriate, so I take over a lot there still. Lionel Bapt, my Model Y estimate delivery moved from March to November. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Santi, yeah, it's not hard-coded with 100% replication. It's a deep learning AI that can change the way it does things. Yes, for sure. Do you think FSD is worth 12K? I have a whole video about that, autopilot versus FSD, and no, I cannot recommend it at $12,000. It's just so much money. Now, some people, $12,000, lucky you, is not that much, and you love beta, then go for it. Beta is not going to be relaxing. This is not something like autopilot. You're going to turn on and be like, oh, this is so great. I'm just chilling on my way to Florida. You're going to be like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, that was sweet. Oh, wow, I have to hit the accelerator. Oh, I have to hit the brake. Like, if you want to do that, like I do, I love it. I constantly use beta. I have it on 99% of the time, even when it's screwing up a lot. Then maybe it's worth it to you, but it's hard for me to recommend. I will say when full self-driving was, I believe, 7,000, I also didn't recommend it at that time. And I can say retrospectively, I was wrong. But at that time, I don't think it was worth 7,000. Antoine, any recommendations to ease into FSD with auto lane change? I ask for confirmation on the highway because I'm scared of the car's decisions. Nope, beta's going to do it. You cannot, you can just take over, but you can't have confirm anything really. Sometimes it'll ask you to confirm before it makes a turn, but yeah, it's pretty rare. Shiv Kumar, I got FSD this past weekend. Congrats to you. Pretty surprised how fast it accelerates in turns and even just going straight, trying to catch up to the speed limit, sometimes even in chill mode. Yep. Like I said, sometimes, beta's doing something and it's not necessarily bad. I mean, maybe what you're explaining is bad in that situation, but just saying beta is doing something and maybe it's not bad, but because it's different than what you would do, you're kind of like, huh? What the heck? Why is it doing that? So yeah, it's something to keep in mind. When you get FSD beta, can safety score make you lose? Oh, already answered that. On the level of smoothness, where did full self-driving start? Where is it at now? The first version of beta I got, it was awful because it could not even go in a straight line. It would be in the lane, just ping-ponging constantly. And that was for, I think, 2 versions or so, 2 updates it took to fix that. And then turns, the wheel would be, doing all this stuff back and forth and like really robotic. It's smoothed out a ton since then. Sometimes you'll still get a little bit of hard braking at the end of a stop or some hard acceleration that you don't expect. But again, I think that's just kind of some of it is the virtue of you not doing it. Because like when you're driving a car, as you go to accelerate, your whole body knows what's about to happen because you're doing it. So you kind of, even if you don't know it, your muscles tense in a certain way and you move your body in a certain way to kind of prepare for what's coming up. When you're not doing the driving, you can't do that. So if the car's going to step on it, you didn't know that was going to happen. It's like the same if you're a passenger and someone, accelerates really hard. You're like, whoa, what the heck? I didn't expect it. Oh, my head. So I think that's part of it where you got to realize you're not in control. I mean, you are in control, but if the car's doing it, you're not the one doing that maneuver. So it can be kind of strange. Have you noticed sometimes the speed resets without a road change for no reason? I have, yeah. I'll be at 70 and drop to 60. Yeah, I've noticed that. Super rare for that to happen, but I have noticed that. Wow, I'm behind. All right, let's go kind of quick. Full self-driving beta live stream. I would do it. I've done live streams in the past of autopilot. The problem is the quality is usually pretty bad. And then people are like, all the comments are just like, oh, the quality sucks. So I don't know. I mean, it would be fine. I just honestly, quality is going to be so much better from me editing and uploading and all that. The Cybertruck does have 4-wheel steering, which was seen at Cyber Rodeo. The one that in the new pictures maybe didn't have it, but there are variants of it with 4-wheel steering. Does beta look out for potholes or dead animals? No, it does not seem to care at all. I've had some people tell me it avoids potholes, but in my experience, it does not. Do you find it's harder to take over in turns with Yoke? Nope. On occasion, it's rough for me. No, Yoke is fine. I have no problem with it. Yeah, easy. Return kids to sender. I don't think so. Hello, Ari. Welcome. Say hello to the stream. I do want to give a quick shout out. Do you guys know EcoWear? They made this hat, and I have some. If you go to ecoware.com, I think is the website. You can use code Dirty Tesla and get 15% off. They do the shirts with like Zach and Jesse. It's the same people. So they sent me some stuff, and yeah, the quality is awesome. And my favorite part, it's carbon negative. So if you buy a shirt from them, you actually are removing carbon from the environment, and you get 15% off with the code Dirty Tesla. So you should check it out. Kushal, have you checked out the superchargers in Novi? I went there. If you watch my beta versus beta video, which beta versus beta 2 is coming tomorrow. Ooh, you guys want a sneak peek? I got this set up. I could show you the clip. Let's check it out. If you watch my beta versus beta video, that's where we start at that supercharger. It wasn't open at the time, but yeah, now it's open. Yeah, they did open. Let me just show you this ending part. As usual, it's a long one. All right, so this is so funny. So I did this with my friend Aaron. So beta versus beta. And in this part, I don't have the sound on. I don't know if it'll come through. I basically say, I want to see what happens if I drive my car at his when he's in beta. So I accelerate like decently hard towards his car. Check it out. And then watch him. Oh, see? It moves over. It like saw me coming and was going to try to avoid me. Isn't that crazy? And then next is the view from his car. So look at his car moves, tries to like avoid me. It's like, oh my gosh, we're going to get crashed into. Isn't that sweet? Yeah. So that video will be out tomorrow morning. Okay. So a couple more. Let's go. Questions. Will be interesting to see how full self-driving works with the steer-by-wire. Yeah, that'd be sweet. You think it'll be on Cybertruck? Hopefully it's legal by then. Still not legal. Tesla FSD student, what up? Chris, don't you find the latest FSD be a little too aggressive after a maneuver is done? Let's say turning right and then boom, speeding like crazy. Again, I think a lot of this is just getting used to it because, yes, there have been times I'm like, wow, that was okay. You accelerated pretty hard, but nope, not usually. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. Part of that I like because I am skeptical that the car can see far enough when it's doing those maneuvers. I could be wrong. I'm not the software guy. I don't make self-driving cars. I'm skeptical the car can see far enough. So part of that strategy, in my opinion, and I'm fine with it, I like it, is that the car is, okay, there's no one here, I'm going to go. Just in case someone's coming real fast and the car didn't see them, then it will be out of the way. It's not going to do this because the opposite, where it would like very slowly kind of get out there, was awful. Nah, I'd rather it step on it. Let's go. I'm in a Tesla, man. Sasha, if I opt in now, will I have a chance at beta before window closes? I don't know. You just got to try. I'm going to try myself, I think. So I hope so. Hit the entry button last week, currently 97. Any idea on my timeline? Nope. You could get it tonight. Honestly, I don't know. Boston Mike, should I quit my job if they won't let me work from home unless I work 40 hours a minimum in the office? Heck yeah. Dude, I work in a lab. So the whole pandemic, I was going into work, unfortunately. I don't know. That's up to you. Been using FSD beta in New York City. It is terrible. Yeah, I bet, Mana. I bet that's really difficult for the car, but keep using it if you're comfortable because you're helping. Mino, anyone driving a Tesla is lucky. Gas prices are high. Yes, that's true. Kevin, Sabarees. I have had 2 erroneous strikes while I was paying attention, both in an area where a lane merge was happening. No notice, just instant red steering wheel. Yeah, that's sad. I've heard of that happening to people where it's just like kicks them out of nowhere and then they have a strike. And like there was no warning, there was no put a hand on the wheel. It just like happened. There's literally nothing you can do about that. So I'm lucky, and I guess most people are lucky, or maybe it's super rare. But can it confuse my passengers on their phone and warn me? I've heard that can happen. Yeah, if you have someone in the passenger seat looking at their phone, I've heard that beta can get confused by that. It hasn't happened to me. I usually am driving by myself, so I assume I will lose beta, just one more. I have Raven S, no camera. Ooh, yeah, that's no good. So Kevin, who I just read his comment about the erroneous strikes, if you don't have the inside camera like the Legacy S and X, you only get 3 strikes. You don't get 5. So yeah, that would be really sad. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you because that would be lame. I've gotten warned from scratching my ear. That's pretty funny. Wow, that's crazy. Pretty much every time I've been warned, it's, in my opinion, been justified. Like I've been looking at, again, usually it's the center display. Does beta still work? Steven, does beta still work if you have a privacy cover over the cabin camera? Nope, it does not. It will not even let you turn autopilot on if you cover the camera. Robert, 98 score here. No beta yet, but I only drive like 50 miles a week. Wondering if it has to be 100 per week. I don't know. I know there's a minimum mileage, but I don't know if there's a minimum like per week. Have you used valet mode yet? Yeah. Yes, I have. Nathan Hartley, what up, Nathan? There's evidence Tesla indirectly uses OpenStreetMap data via Valhalla routing engine with tiles probably provided by Mapbox. If true, helping OpenStreetMap project helps Tesla. I will say, a long time ago, I had a parking lot where it said the speed limit was 45, and someone commented, and they were like, I'm going to edit OpenStreetMaps and get the parking lot the right speed. And then I went back there like a few weeks later, and it changed. It was like, okay, of course it could be coincidence, but it was like a few weeks after that video and that person left that comment that it happened. So don't you think it would be better if they added bug report reason rather than just a button you click? No, we were told trust Tesla is getting the data it needs to improve the system. Other than that, like, don't worry about it. So that's been my philosophy. Laura, you do have safety score after beta if you have Tesla insurance. Okay, good point. Annoyingly heartbreaking to stop from beta doing something stupid. Dings your score. What? If you're in beta, it shouldn't count. Okay, yeah. So keep that in mind. If you have Tesla insurance, your safety score, of course, won't go away because safety score is part of Tesla insurance. But if you don't have Tesla insurance, you won't have a safety score after. My car loves to brake for shadows. In my 2018, it was not an issue. Now with 2022, it's more noticeable. I don't seem to have a problem with that, surprisingly. Talvin, navigate on autopilot, hates flatbed trucks. It's not sure if it's actually there or not. That's weird. I haven't noticed that either. I'm not saying these things aren't true. I'm just not something that stuck out to me as a problem. My 2018 does shadow braking. Oh, come on. Sasha, did they mean they were already adding 100,000 beta users on top of the 100,000? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going up to 100,000 people. Oh, 100,000 more than the current? That's what he said? Wow, that's crazy. How many people have full self-driving that's beta capable? I can't imagine it's that many more than that. FSD in Canada, even with this update, is not quite the same. The car makes a lot of mistakes. Keep in mind, Tesla doesn't have nearly as much data from Canada, so that's fair. Keep using it, and you're helping. Supposedly, thoughts on a Tesla bot demo? Oh my gosh, I hope so. I'm so excited for Tesla bot. Did you guys see Astro from Amazon? Even that, I was kind of like, oh, that's neat. But then I'm like, what the heck am I gonna do with that? Like, my house isn't that big, so like, I wouldn't use it to deliver things to people. But it's like kind of like, oh, that's cool. I would love a Tesla bot, but I also don't want my kids to grow up like super lazy. Like, imagine if you had this robot that would just clean everything. Like, come on, kids need responsibilities. So, I wouldn't want to get it for that. But yeah, I would love a Tesla bot. I hope there's a demo. I really do. I would think there will be if he said that. I don't think he would have said that if there was no chance. I got FSD beta 8K with Cybertruck order. That will be upheld at time of release. Yep, I did as well. That's awesome. I think I got 7K. Burke, honest thoughts about limitations with current hardware and need to have better or more cameras. My opinion from a non-educated in software or even that much hardware, to be honest, from my experience, I believe we need higher resolution cameras for high-speed cross traffic, and I believe I think the car can do what Tesla wants with the current camera setup, but in my opinion, we should have headlight cameras again for those turning scenarios. It's just like, why not? Why not have cameras way up there? It would make the car be able to see so much more and so much safer and everything. Yeah, I think that'd be sweet. Beta seems to be better on dirt roads for me. Yeah, dude, it's so much better. If it's not, I still sometimes have it crashing on unmarked roads, but not as much as it was. But wow, I had my first zero intervention dirt road drive home the other day. So yeah, that helps a lot. Brent Fontenat. How will I get notified? I'm in beta. I assume app email. You, from my understanding, you don't get anything. You just get. Thank you, by the way, for the super chat. You just get the thing on your phone that says you have a software update. For a while there, people were getting emails, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think anyone's even getting emails. You just your phone, you get an update on your phone and you install it. So. In its current state, I treat beta more as entertainment. Yep, than a convenience feature. 100%. It's like being in an action movie. Yeah, I totally agree with you there. You got to have the right mindset. If you want to spend $12,000 to sleep in your car on the way to work soon, then no, that's not what you're getting. If you want to spend $12,000 because it's fun or you're interested in the tech, then there you go. Is there a mileage limit for new rollout? Probably, but I don't think anyone knows for sure. Hey man, I am one of the new beta testers. Woot, love it. Congratulations, Crispy Bacon NFTs. I encourage you to watch this entire video. I'm at 99 safety score, still nothing. Jack Hand, I just got beta today. It seems pretty terrible when making left turns. It first goes to the right before making the turn. This is rude driving. It blocks the driver behind me from passing me. That can happen. They implemented this like curb avoidance a while ago, and sometimes it gets a little like, so when you take a turn, sometimes you do need to move over a little bit to avoid a curb. Sometimes it does it wrong. So if you're worried about that happening, just tight grip on the wheel so it cannot go where you don't want it to. LOL, it's beta. When things happen, report them. Yes, that's correct. Ernest Q, I had over 4,000 miles on it. Oh, okay. Sorry, you guys talking to each other. Chris Lamdico. Amazing to see FSD beta decision making today at 2-lane merge into 1 lane. The person merging didn't put his blinker on, but on my screen the car interpreted his move and showed a blinker. Yep, I actually saw that today as well. I had a car, exact same thing, moving over in front of me from a lane ending, and they had no blinker, but my car showed a blinker on their car. So I was like, oh, you're like, showing what it should be doing. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Wow, it's 10:02. We're gonna wrap this up soon. I was suspended 4 or 5 months ago, due to my wife's bad driving on the phone. Oh, that's no good. Can I only set FSD beta up on Model Y on my profile and leave her profile out? Nope, you cannot do that. If somebody in that car screws around, you're in trouble. I hate to tell you. All right. Your dog is hilarious right now. What's he doing back there? Oh, is he just moving around? Yeah. he's back there. All right. I'm going to have to wrap it up. Can your dog breathe under that snuggy bed? Yes, he sure can. He loves it under there. What ICE OEM will survive? Ford. Thanks, DT. Thank you, Brent. I appreciate it. Appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Check out my video coming tomorrow. But yeah, anyway, I really enjoy talking to y'all. If you have any more questions, sorry I couldn't answer them all. I really wanted to dig in deep with all the things I was saying. So yeah, I'm going to call it a night. I got to finish up this video for tomorrow. And yeah, it'll be a sweet one. It's pretty cool with Aaron. Beta screws up a lot, but whatever. It's still a fun video. So anyway, I really appreciate everybody here. If you need anything, please DM me. I will, or email me, dirtyteslayt@gmail.com. I will respond eventually. I'm getting a lot these days, so sometimes it takes a little longer, but I appreciate it. So, all right. I hope you all have a good night. I'll see you around. You will see me in the next video. Maybe I'll see you in the next video. Okay, stop. All right, bye.